What's up? This is Peter Morla, and I'm here with a special guest with me tonight. I appreciate for you taking the time to come build with me here. If you can please talk a little bit about yourself, what you do, and promote yourself.
Hey, thank you, Peter, for the introduction. I go by King Macho the First. I do content on YouTube, been doing it for the past 3 years, and it's based on Dominican Enlightenment. I say it's the Dominican Enlightenment period. This is an era where Dominicans are not only going to show the beauty of our culture, our music, our island, the beaches, but we're going to use our intellect, our philosophies, and systems to change and mold the culture going forward.
Awesome. So, what I have tonight is a series of questions. We can go over it. Basically, I'll read over. Um, you give your input, I'll give my input, and we'll go step by step, and we'll give the people our thoughts. There's a lot out there within the English speaking diaspora that people get construed when it comes to our ethnic group, uh, history, and there's a lot of misconceptions. So would like to go over with these themes tonight with you.
Sounds good.
So this is something that I went through. It's very easy, not that long. Um, so originally I wanted to make this into a pamphlet, but um, it's a lot of work. Um, Actually, I think would be a good idea. The pamphlet. If you can talk a little bit first about the pamphlet that you made, that you were handing out on Sunday at the 2024th Annual Dominican Day Parade in New York City.
Yeah, it was a pamphlet based on a couple of things. It was ba- preserving Dominican history. I think very few people actually know what it takes to be Dominican, how we got here, and also the issues that we face today. This global agenda that's going on in the Dominican Republic, of you could say a replacement theory of balkanization of two countries in one island, but Dominican Republic being the replacement via Haiti and other foreigners, you could say. So basically, all in all, our beautiful country, our bloodline, our roots is being sold by the dollar, by the corrupt political elites, the politicians, and the agenda of balkanization, which is a much bigger plan for the world. But the Dominican Republic and Haiti is being used as a guinea pig.
Excellent. So basically, you already know here, it's a slow approach. I like to build a case and slowly build up. So this is a culmination of work that I've been putting out, and it's an honor to be able to go over with with you today. So like after this program, I'll be like starting all over again to touch on other topics when it comes to our history. So with that being said, I'm going to start with the general. We'll go over each together. I'll go over the questions, you give your input, and I'll give my take on it. So first, question, are Dominicans Black? The answer would be no. Dominicans are a admixed ethnic group with a Hispanic culture that evolved on the island.
Me no black, me Dominican. No, Dominicans aren't black. That's a general description. Uh, to me, I equate it like this. It's if you have a bag of mixed nuts, right? There's almonds, cashews, peanuts, and other variations. And you look at that bag and you go, oh, that's a bag of almonds. But you go, no, wait, there's cashews in there. There's other stuff. That's what I equate that question to. No, Dominicans are not black. Are there Dominicans that are have heavy African DNA? Yes. Just like there's Dominicans who are heavily European DNA. Yes. But I think the majority are a mix. So it's a majority mixed country. So Dominicans are mixed in the majority.
Very accurate. The anthropological response that I would give, Dominicans are descendants of first contact interactions. We are descendants of the colonizers that came, mixed in with the Spanish, along with the African people that the Spanish brought to the island, which would give rise to our 500 plus year history on the island and will contribute to our Dominicanidad and what would make us Dominican today. Um,
Yeah,
so,
that's a great answer.
Second one, what led to the separation of Haiti? Was it due to race? Answer: the separation from Haiti lies in social and economic reasons. There are 10 reasons Frank Moyabone cites for separation, which none are rooted in race. The Dominican Republic has two historical manifestos, which is hardly mentioned in the English speaking diaspora, in my opinion, that explains the basis for separating from Haiti in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. It has nothing to do with race. I always bring up the fact, of course, people have to look at the Treaty of Ryswick, where the Spanish, it was called Hispaniola, but they were getting attacked so much on the western side that the Spanish couldn't keep up. So they came up with in Europe, they came up with a plan to give that side to France. The eastern part would be for the Spanish. And ever since then, it's always been a difference. You could even look at the French and the Spanish, how they were at odds. Our systems are their systems were different, which kind of um, you could say is the base of both. Haiti is French, Dominican Republic Spanish as the base of a system, and it lies there today. Two different countries. To mix two different countries together, it's not like you mold clay together and something comes out of it, or a smoothie and you just mix it together. It takes uh one usually over eats the other. It's never just a peaceful coexistence. It's one eats the other. So it, that's basically it. It's to have this coalition and togetherness of two countries together, it barely works out, and that's what it is. It has nothing to do with race. It's if you were to do that, say in Europe, let's combine France and Spain together. I mean, they're European, right? It's not going to work. You could go to Africa. Right now, I mean, Northern Sudan and Southern Sudan are fighting. It's the same country. Why don't they just mix up? No, it's it's for some reason they treat the Dominican Republic and Haiti like, oh, you guys could get together, but other countries have tried and never worked. But they think that us doing it will work. That's wishful thinking, and that's my opinion.
Excellent. So let me continue to move along. Was the reincorporation into Spain due to whiteness? The answer would be no. The reincorporation to Spain was due to the instability caused by Haitian aggression and invasion attempts of its time.
Yeah, I have to agree. Here in the States, everything's black and white. When General Santana wanted to incorporate or annex to Spain, it was because he felt the Dominican Republic would not be able to keep up with the constant invasion, not only from Haiti, but the United States was building an empire right up north. You had France still around. You had the British Empire was expanding. He felt at one point we're gonna get eaten up by one of these entities. So if we reincorporate to Spain, at least we're going to have military backing. DR was by itself, right? And General Santana, how can I say, made a losing bet. He made a losing bet. He didn't believe in the Dominican dream. He didn't believe in the Dominican society going forward. He didn't see a future, and he was wrong. And that's how I look at it. I don't look at it as race, because if that was the case, they wouldn't want to incorporate themselves with England. They wouldn't want to incorporate with France again. They wouldn't want to incorporate with the Dutch. But no, they chose Spanish for a certain reason. One, the culture was already ingrained in the Dominican Republic. We come from Spaniards, of course, some more than others. Don't don't hang me on the tree just because I said that. But our culture, right? Our culture is basically from Spain mixed with Taino, mixed with African, and now, of course, the in the past, let's say 2 centuries or so, the Arabs, mostly Lebanese and Syrian.
It's very deep with the DNA research from the Y paternal, right? Um, Dominicans on the paternal side, we inherit 70% European and North African lineages. So that shows that the Spanish was predominant in creating our ethnic identity. So with that said, I'm gonna go into the next one. Does anti-Haitianism has its roots in hatred of blackness? Answer: no. Anti-Haitianism has its roots in a mutual feeling among ethnic Dominicans of not wanting to assume responsibility of the social and economic problems of another nation.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with blackness or Africanness. I don't like the term blackness. Um, I always say this: DR, the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, is a pro-Hispanic country. Pro-Hispanic country, meaning we believe in the unity of Hispanic America, Mexicans, Colombians, Peruvians, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Hispanicness, right? Haiti is a pro African country. You can't mix those two because, like I said, one is have to eat the other, and that's what it is. To me, it's really people spread anti-Haitianism. Why not anti-Hispanicism? It's like being Hispanic is not important enough to exist, right? And this is the trouble that we go through. It's the fact that to be Hispanic it's a thing. It's an entity already. Yeah, it's young. It was born in 1492, right? But it's of the Americas. Right? Of course, the roots are from Spain, but it was born here. Does it derive from Hispania, from the Roman times and Spain? Yes. But this mixture that we got with the culture based on Spain, the native, and the African made it something else. And that's what we are. And people try to delegitimize it, right? Delegitimize it. They're not giving us enough respect to exist and to push forward. And they're trying their best to throw dirt at it as it shouldn't exist. It's just an idea. Just like you said, General Santana. We just went over with General Santana. He didn't believe in the Dominican idea. These people don't believe in the Hispanic idea. So they want to what? They want to conquer it. They think it should be erased. And that's what we're fighting for. So it's not even about anti-Haitianism, nothing. It's anti-Hispanicism that's happening.
If I can just add to that, remember when we went to celebrating Dominican Independence Day in the city? The merchandise, there's a lady selling merchandise, and they just had or the African merchandise. In my opinion, that's problematic because you're only acknowledging one part of Dominican identity and you're ignoring the others, which is the Spanish and the Taino part. All of that should be said, celebrated, and acknowledged together, not as separate entities.
Yeah, and that's what I say. There is this crusade against Hispanics, in all types, and that's what it is. Being Hispanic is a new idea. It's something that's birthed from here. Yeah, people say, "Well, you're the product of colonized." So what? You know how much stuff is a product of something bad, but it became good after a while. You know, if you look at pizza, for example, you know, I'm gonna bring pizza. Pizza was for the poor, right? It was bread with sauce and cheese. That's what the poor ate. Now look at pizza. Now it's now it's everywhere. Now everyone eats pizza. Now there's fancy pizza. The same, you know, the same thing with tacos with the Mexicans. That's what the poor used to eat. But now look at it. It's everywhere. You got fancy restaurants serving this type of foods. That's the thing is, out of sometimes misery comes a brilliant idea. And if, to me, that's what Hispanic is. When we go through colonization, it had to happen in order for us to exist. We came out of war. We came out of conquest. And out of that came something beautiful, which is us. So they try to remind you all the time, you're the product of this and that. I mean, we could do the same thing too. So all those people, I mean, like, you're the product of slavery. Slavery wasn't pretty. But look at you now. Maybe you have a lot of pride. Maybe because of that, it took you somewhere else, and now you grew into something else. But for me to point that out, it would be considered you're racist. Oh, you're bigot. But you're allowed to say I'm a product of rape, and you say that to women. So basically, what you're saying, you're belittling people, and you're using rape language, which is very disrespectful to describe Hispanics. So this is the thing about Hispanics. We need to fight for our existence and don't fold for no one. Be proud of who you are and keep moving forward.
It's beautiful. Excellent. So let's move on to the next. Did Dominicans create the immigration problem of the Haitian people in the Dominican Republic? Answer, no. The immigration problem in the Dominican Republic originated in the early 20th century when the Dominican Republic, during its time, was heavily in debt, had foreigners take over Dominican customs. Foreigners who would later import Haitian people to work in the sugar industry on Dominican soil to alleviate the protest against the US occupation of the Haitian side during the first occupation of the island, 1915 to 1934, 1916 through 1924 in the respective. The foreigners who also began the regulated labor of hiring Haitian people in Dominican territory.
You're very right. I forgot the name of the sugar company that was American owned, and they were the ones who were importing other people to work in the sugarcane fields to process the sugar and to work in that foreign entity. And it's happened all across Latin America. United Fruit Company, you had the Panama Canal in Panama where they got laborers from the West Indian islands in the Caribbean, Jamaica particularly, brought them in to construct the canal, to help construct the canal. So they've always looked for foreign labor to build fast and not to pay them and not have any rights. It's part of economics. It's part of, say, globalism or free market economics. Has nothing to do with race. It's free market economics.
All right, let's continue to move on. So these were some pictures that I took at the parade, right? So the reason we're putting this here, I want the people to see, as you were talking about earlier, when it comes to the Dominican people, we are a mixed race ethnic And when I look at the pictures, and this is what I see, the Dominican people are a mixed race.
Yeah, like you said, like the guys in the lower right could pass for Arab, Middle Eastern, possibly mestizo, Mexican. The guy on top, it looks like a mulatto mixed with a little bit of that Taino blood. Upper left, I mean, same thing. Bottom left, same thing. It's just a little, a little one's darker, lighter, the hair texture, but they basically got the same ingredients. Let's say you have banana, pineapple, and orange. One got a little more pineapple, one got a little more orange, one got that's the way I look at it. It's pineapple, banana, and orange mix, but it depends on the quantity. That's all it is. And the thing is, it's frustrating, Peter, that we have to explain ourselves to people. And that's the thing. I don't explain myself to nobody. When people say, "Oh, what are Dominicans?" I go, "Did you know the sky is blue?" That's what I say. Did you know the sky is blue? Because we don't have to explain nothing to nobody. And I've been doing lives for 3 years, doing shows, and I invite people up that aren't Dominican, that are just curious how we identify ourselves. They just curious. Do you know race and ethnicity? And like, who cares? Who cares? Like, worry about your own life. How we identify is not a problem for you. You got bigger problems than how Dominicans identify. And the thing is that are attacking like our being kind of disrespect and disregard. They don't think much of us. We disregard. So if that's the case, just get out of here. Just keep it moving. Don't and then I don't entertain it. And it bothers me sometimes when I have panels and someone goes, "Oh, you Dominicans deny you black," and be like, "Oh, all right, yeah, we do." Okay, all right. Anything else? Goodbye. It's like for me, that's what a trickster does. A trickster does is they try to confuse you from the obvious. Confuse you from the obvious. And it's people's insecurities. People projecting, they think, right? Because we say we're not black, that we want to be white. It's like either you're black or you're white, right? How about if we say we're not white nor black? Like if a white guy came up to me, says, "You know what, Macho, damn, you deny your whiteness." I'd be like, "Yeah, because I'm not all the way white." And but we never get it from that crowd. It'll be like maybe a fraction of 1%. But I think most of the people who try to gaslight us are from a specific crowd.
Excellent, Macho. Just to add to that real quick, I think also, like they put their North American dynamics and try to like compare and contrast with Dominican dynamics. It's not the same. We have cultural norms, experiences, and demographic history that makes our experience totally different from theirs. So when they try to compare their experience with ours and superimpose it right on top, that's when it becomes problematic. And also, the other thing that becomes an issue is when young Dominicans, other Hispanics abroad who are assimilated and not too educated within their own history, they make the same comparison and then they get things very misconstrued.
Yeah, I was one of the group where I was raised in New York City. I was educated in New York City, and the indoctrination is powerful. It's powerful. I got out of the matrix roughly, I would say, 4 years ago. but the majority, I was one of those Dominicans who was like, oh, we deny we're black, and Trujillo, and this and that, we're evil. But then when I looked at the history and I saw the agenda, I'm like, hold on. What's going on here? What they're teaching me is a lie. What Dominicans are is something beautiful. We're not hateful people. Why are they teaching us
That's
this?
this.
It has
It
a
has
lot
a
to
lot
do
to
with
do
the
with
Black legend. It has a lot to do with the
the
year
year
in
in
North
North
America now,
now,
which is
which
the
is the
Anglo-British. You could say the son of the British Empire. So they're gonna look down upon anything that's not of British descent or derived from that. So I could see why they teach it like that. But when I started reading my own books and talking to my own people, I've um I've changed perspective, and it's the right perspective.
Excellent, Macho. I want to add this real quick. I think a change of perspective for me came, this was like 2012. There's a guy named Sa Netter. He used to do like film a lot of lectures in the Black Power movement in New York City. And when I found out that he was Dominican, I was surprised. I was like, oh, wow, this guy, he's Americanized and totally disconnect from his culture. And that opened up my eyes to, revise a lot of things that I used to look at things before. So like if you look at my earlier videos when I started, it's very different to now.
And that's why I take it easy on the youth, because I was there one time. And I revoked Dominican cards and stuff like that. But I never went on social media and said stuff. I would keep it to myself. I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't go on social media and talk crazy about Dominicans and put them down and say, oh, whatever, whatever. So it's a little bit different.
Okay, next. What prevented the problem of migrants? What prevented, what prevents the problem of migrants from being resolved? Answer, lack of a collective consciousness among Dominicans, and two, corruption.
Yeah, I think it's political corruption, and at the border, you have some sort of corruption at the border.
The one thing that I would want to emphasize on and would like to see more, which would take time and work with people like us, putting work, putting information, putting awareness, is creating a collective of consciousness among Dominicans abroad.
I agree. I feel like what we do, we're doing it from the bottom of our heart. We're not paid by institutions. We're not paid by organizations to, uh, 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 have a script and go along with it and then get paid. We're doing it because we really care about our people, and we want to preserve it for generations to come.
Go on the next one. We got two more slides left. So I'm gonna go along with this. Okay, this is historical facts with the Haitian occupation. So I'm gonna read through this and then you can give your input. Historical facts in regards with the Haitian occupation. Land tenure system based on French and Haitian practices was imposed. Disruption of common lands owned and used simultaneously by multiple owners, land that was not surveyed or divided because there was no real population pressure on the land. The reason was due to the low population density in Santo Domingo and the low exploitation associated with livestock farming and logging made surveying unnecessary and expensive. The Haitian political economy, legal organization, property ownership, and agricultural labor policies had alienated the majority of the Dominican population. You can just add your thoughts in.
Yeah, it's like I said, in generalities, it's one culture, nationality, trying to impose on another, and that's never going to work out. It's never going to work out. People fantasize about it. People romanticize about it. They don't know how the economy was at that time. They don't know about human rights at that time. They just they just want to see Hispanicism die out. And I think it's a direct threat to Dominicans to even be pushing this narrative. I follow me on TikTok. I have, unfortunately, I have Haitians that say that island's ours. We're going to take it. A direct threat. A direct threat. And then when I post it, they go, well, it's like almost like we deserve extinction. We deserve extinction openly. And people laughing, parading about it. But then we're the bad guys. And this is why me and Peter are here. We're here to take a stand against it. And it's sad that a lot of these organizations, universities are paying our people to come against us. But at the end of the day, we're going to fight to preserve who we are, what we are. And we have a lot of reinforcements. We're part of a big Hispanic community who also will not stand back and allow Dominicans to be swallowed up. Because if we get swallowed up, that means they're next. So shout out to all the Mexicanos, shout out to all the Puerto Ricans, the Cubanos, shout out to all the Peruvians, Colombians, who do understand that this is part of the bigger picture. They're undermining what being Hispanic is and Hispanic America. We've always been a place that's been under control by hegemonic powers, and they're not letting us breathe. They're not letting us manifest our destiny. But at the end of the day, no one's gonna do that for you. We got to do it for ourselves.
Excellent. So I'm gonna add to that real quick, and I'm gonna wrap this up because of the time constraint. So it's people need to understand it's two nations on the island with entirely different demographic origins that forever sets the two apart. As Frank Moribond says, we are entirely dissimilar. So last slide, I'm gonna go through this real quick. Historical facts with reincorporating into Spain. There's a bunch of reasons. I'm gonna read the last one here and then we're gonna close out. Fourth one, annexation or reincorporation to Spain was due to the instability caused by the Haitian aggression and constant invasions of its time. The idea that the Dominican Republic was helpless. Spain did not respect the rights and customs of the Dominican people and tried to impose control through administration of justice and the elimination of religious freedom. Dominican people during this time had not reached a high level of feeling of a national state or consciousness.
Like I said, being Dominican is a work in progress. It's a work in progress, and we're still building here. And I can't wait to see the final product, even if it's after me. But we're definitely, me and you, Peter, we're laying that brick in the Dominican foundation for sure. And it's going to last for generations to come. I promise you that.
Yes, so closing out, any thoughts you want to add on?
No, I think it's great what we're doing, Peter. We're taking our time to educate and give our thoughts and opinions, right? We're not absolutists. We're not saying our word is the only word, but we do have accredited proof. We have our stance, and we're not moving from it. We represent Dominicans. We love our people, and we're seeing something very sinister, this conspiracy that's out there to spread these lies and anti-Dominican rhetoric, like you coined, against us. We caught it, and we're fighting against it, and that's all it is. This all intellectual debates. This is no one needs to take it personal. If they are taking personal, that means you're already lost. So yeah, we're here. King Macho the First, Confederation of the Antilles, and we're starting this new movement, this new Dominican Enlightenment period.
Yeah, it was a pleasure building with you. Just real quick, Like especially for the youth, be grounded in science and anthropology, logic, be proud of your Dominican identity. Don't separate either part of it. And that's pretty much it until the next bill. Salute.
Salud, Nitiao.